Now to this, WWE star Joe Anoya, also known as Roman Reigns, explained why he voted for President Trump, despite being a registered Democrat. He said the choice was very clear, adding, quote, one person was giving us information, one person was answering questions, so really wasn't that hard. Lara Trump joins me now. Okay, Lara, so here's the question for you. Do you think the Democrats have anyone who's going to answer questions as often as we see Donald Trump, who answers questions pretty much on a daily basis?
Yeah, Cheryl, this is the most transparent administration and president I think we've ever had in American history. You know, to go from the stark contrast of the Biden administration, where, don't forget, they were trying to hide Joe Biden from us. You know, they were doing all kinds of things to kind of distract. I call it jazz hands. Whenever you say, oh, look over here, not over here. That was the goal of the last administration. The goal of this administration is to talk to the American people, to answer questions. President Trump never hesitates, as you just said, to take questions from even a hostile media. So do the Democrats have anyone who can do that? Probably not, because what are they going to say? They have dug themselves in such a deep hole that you even have Democrats like this WWE wrestler, lifelong Democrat, who says, look, I voted for President Trump because at least he's talking to us. At least we know that, I think he said, America can have a bright and hopeful future. That's what you're getting with this president. So I'm sort of amazed every time I turn around and look at what the Democrat Party is doing. The people they're pushing forward as their leadership, and you got to put that in air quotes, and the things that they're championing right now, they are very lost.
Yeah, if they're grabbing onto AOC for leadership, they're really reaching, Lara, in my opinion. But let's talk about the Democrats, because New York City Mayor Eric Adams is going to be on your show this weekend. Listen to what he said about the Democrat Party leaving him. I thought this was fascinating.
I think it's just common sense. You know, what does everyday New Yorkers want? And, you know, I use the terminology all the time. People say, well, you know, you left the Democratic Party. You know, the party left me. I want to talk about what working class people believe, what they're feeling, and they're afraid. And we can't continue to be so philosophical and intellectual that we're talking over the heads of people who are afraid. Am I going to be able to provide for my children? Can I keep my home? Can I be employed?
Lara, this interview sounds fascinating. Tell us about what he told you and what you found the most interesting about that conversation.
Yeah, I mean, he told me, to be honest, Cheryl, going into that interview, Eric Adams said there's nothing off limits. You can ask me about anything. And so it's a very wide-ranging interview. We talk about why he is now running as an independent for his re-election in New York City as mayor. He's obviously talking there about the fact that the Democratic Party left him and that it's common sense. We also talk about safety and security. Look, this is a former police officer, and he's trying to do his best, he says, for New York City residents. He has been cooperating with Tom Home and the Border Czar. He has been cooperating with ICE. He actually put an ICE facility on Rikers Island, and the New York City City Council sued him for it, Cheryl. They apparently don't want safety and security for any New York City residents. He answers a whole host of questions, but I found it so interesting, his response whenever I said, you know, did the Democratic Party leave you? And that's the answer he gave. It's absolutely fascinating. And so tune in tomorrow night, 9 p.m. There will be a lot more of that on My View.
Absolutely. Congratulations on the show. It is great, Lara, and I'm really looking forward to the rest of this interview. Lara Trump, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.